Water is now just starting to boil, so we're just going to let it simmer for 15 minutes. So it's 1:28 right now, so it should be ready about at 1:43. Okay, we're going to start feeling how the beans have changed throughout the substances. So here's our cheese cutter. We're going to use the coins to see how long it takes for the cheese cutter to cut the beans in half. But first, before we start doing that, we're going to start feeling how the beans have changed in their appearance and how they feel.
3.
Okay, so now while we're waiting for the water, we're going to see how many coins it takes to cut the beans. But before we do that, we're going to see how the beans have changed throughout the time they were boiling in their substances. So let's check the vinegar. Vinegar is about a little bit firm but soft, and it's easy to peel off the skin or the shell of the bean. It's easy, like the beans are coming apart really easily. So now we're going to see how many coins it takes to cut it. So here's our cheese slicer right here.
3.
Okay, so all the water went away just like the baking soda and the sugar. So I feel like this should be softer, harder, because all the water went away. So now let's just put them in the cup right here. And as you can see here, we started a little bit of early testing. So what we did was that we tested how many coins would take for to cut the beans. So what we have here for vinegar, we put our limit was 30, so it didn't cut anything at all. But as you can see here, the sugar, it took around like 32 coins, and you can see from the top to the bottom that the top was cut more than the bottom. So it didn't really get to the bottom all the way, but you can see, look inside. Now, after the sugar, we did the molasses. The molasses took around like 30, 40 coins, but it didn't cut as much as the sugar did, but it reached the bottom more, if you can see the crease. So now we're just going to do a little bit more testing of the baking soda and water, and I'll be back with that. Okay, so here was the process we did for the other two, the vinegar and the molasses, and the sugar, I mean. So now we're going to do baking soda. The texture of the baking soda was really soft because all the water went away, as you can tell. The skin of the shell is coming off really easily. It's all mushy, as you can see. So now we're going to see how many coins it takes to cut it. So here's just going to go one at a time. If you can see here, it's already starting to cut a little bit, so this should be fast, unlike the other two. So I'll try 2 at a time. The top is getting more cut than the bottom, but the bottom is slowly getting there. So now I think we're at our limit we're at 15 coins right now. So we're almost we're halfway there. And as you can see there at the bean, we are more than halfway through. So pretty soon we should be cutting it. And now the bottom has started getting through. So add a couple more, go by 3s now. So after this, we're going to be doing the waters and the results. As you can see now, after all the pressure of the coins, if you can see over here, the shell is starting to lift up, so the beans are cutting more thorough. So I think we're about to reach our limit here of 30 coins. So let's take it off and see how much we got. Okay, so now that we just finished the baking soda, we're now going to start at the water. So the water didn't have any substance in it, it's just plain water. So we start with 3 coins. 3, 6, 11, 13, 16. As you can see on the bean a little bit, if you can see, the top of the bean is already starting to get a little bit creased. 18, 21, 24, 26, 28, 30. So we reached our limit of 30, so we're just gonna go a little bit more to see if anything else happens. 32. 34. 36. So nothing has happened right now. Let's see what happens at 40. 36. 38. 40. So let's see here. The beans just got a little bit creased, as you can see there, right here. You can see the line, but nothing has happened to the bottom. The line starts fading away at the bottom, but most of it is at the top. Let's see what. Nope, it doesn't break whatsoever. Okay, so the water and the vinegar are in last place for seeing which one got cut the most. But out of these two, the water did better, because if you can see here, the water is on the left and the vinegar is on the right. Nothing is on the vinegar, but the water, you can see there's a little line at the top, through the middle, and the bottom. But nothing is on the vinegar. There's not a line nor crease.
3.
Okay, so here are all the beans for when they got cut. So let's feel the texture and how it felt for the vinegar. The vinegar doesn't feel squishy, but not too squishy. It's kind of firm. So let's look at the inside. The inside's white, looks clean, but the shell comes off really easily. It's the skin of the bean. And as you can see, it got nothing from the cheese slicer. So now the sugar all the water went away. But the skin of the bean is peeling off really easily, and nothing inside has happened to the bean at all. But on the test, the top got cut off. The top got cut, but nothing has happened to the bottom. For the molasses was good too. It was soft and firm too. So as you can see, it's all brown from the molasses. The skin comes off easily, and the inside is all brown. And for the test results of the molasses, you can see the crease. It gets cut a little bit on the top, but not so much on the bottom. For the baking soda, it was one of the best test results. All the water went away, and the skin you can hardly see anymore. It all becomes separated and all mushy. So when you open it, you can't even open it properly without it falling apart or cutting in half. So here's what happens. For the test results of the baking soda, the top and the bottom get cut really well. The shell gets a little bit lifted, and you can't open it that much. For the water, it was the same thing as the vinegar. Everything went away. The shell, everything's falling apart. Here's what the water looks like, but you can barely see a crease in the water for the test. So yeah, I'll be back with the test results